Hey guys, it's Dwight with Dwight Pours. How are you? I'm in my gallery space and I want to show you some of my art before we go in to look at the painting. Remember the other day I did this one down here. It's all dried. Dried pretty nice. You guys seem to like the fractals in there. There they are. So this is my gallery space with all my paintings that I've done over the past year, and I just wanted to say that I've been doing a lot of these dump and swirls, as you can see. There's a big blue one down there. So we are going to walk into my studio. Never before seen place. I've cleaned it up just for you guys. And here is the painting I did. Now, if you stay tuned at 1 o'clock, you'll see the creation video for this and a lot more details about the making of this. So Anita, I will try to tell you and help you, if it makes some sense, on how to kind of create this. So what I did, first of all, I used the DecoArt Americana paints. And I mixed them with mostly water and just a drizzle of Liquitex pouring medium, which I mentioned acts like a binder. So when you are adding water and stretching, you don't lose the pigment. And I used, for the black, acrylic flow from Artist Loft, as well as the white. And they're all about the same consistency. And in the video, what I talk about is that when I'm stretching it, the black will sink and the bubbles that come up will also bring up the paint. So I'll just move in and show you some of the detail. Now this is on a 20 by 24 canvas. It's not quite dry. The middle is still wet, the negative space, but you see all the cells. Now, in this particular pour, I think I made it a little bit thicker than I usually do, the paints, and that's why the cells are really small. But they're kind of cool looking. They've got some of the mixture of the color of the other colors that are in the paint. So what I used, again, I'll show you, is Bahama Blue by DecoArt's Americana. Here we go, True Blue. I think in my video I called it Bright Blue, but I realized it's True Blue. And then Turquoise Blue. Whoop, there it is. And what I find in doing these is that the DecoArts really make a lot of cells. Thanks, Craig. That's my trusty assistant, Craig. That's my partner. He's here to help me. Hi. Actually, I can see you. Hi, Cindy. Yeah. So I don't know if you do have any questions, let me know. My video that starts at 1 o'clock, well, hello, hey. I can see all you guys as I'm doing this, which is great. Again, I explain the process and I go through it. And my next goal is to do a larger canvas and do the same process, but do it live. And that way, though, I'll have my camera set and I won't be able to see any questions. Well, hello, everybody. Does anybody have any questions or want me to go over anything that you might have missed? Yeah, Anita, I learned from Melly D about 2.5 years ago. I started watching her paintings, and I learned with the DecoArts. I mean, that's how I got into these paints, and they do sell a lot. The red also does too. Yeah, so I'll move in if some of you just are joining to show some of the details. And also at the same time, I wanted to remind you that at 1 o'clock will be the actual creation video. Hey, everybody. Catherine, Mira, Leslie, and Lana. Now the middle is still wet. Hi, Deanna. It's a practice. You have to, I think what I say is you have to write everything down. And sometimes it's just tweaking the water and adding more or not as much and making sure the consistencies are about as equal on all the colors.
Got a question about using hippie paints.
Yeah, the Hippie Crafter paints. I haven't tried. Well, no, I think I did actually. I think I used them in one. I have to go back and look. They're thin enough. I think if I would use them again, I would slightly thicken them with a little bit of Floetrol so I have more control on how thick they are.
Why does the blue seem to be the only paint that sells?
First of all, Karen, I am in Eastern time zone. I don't know about the blue. I don't know what's in it that does that. I really think it's just any color because I've got a whole bunch of, I should just like the blue, but the reds and the oranges also work really well too.
How can you describe your paint consistency for the cloud pores?
How
How thin can you describe your paint consistency?
How
for the cloud
thin?
pores?
How thin to describe my paint consistency? So if you are using stir sticks and you're stirring your paint, you don't want it to sink when you lift it up about an inch from the paint, and you don't want it to necessarily mound. It just needs to flow right in, if that makes sense. Hey, Ann, how are you? It's my good buddy, Ann.
Consistency of base versus cloud.
Well, in this particular pour, they're pretty even. I think, yeah, the consistency is usually pretty even on this. I do play around sometimes, especially with metallics, where I think if I'm using metallics, I do thinner metallics and slightly thicker dump paint, the black paint. And that way it sinks and the metallics can come up.
Have you ever tried just using water with Amsterdam paint?
No, I've never used the Amsterdam paint. I think I've only used the titanium white, but I use that with the other pours that I've done to make those big white cells. Because they say it's an activator, I guess. I don't know what it is. There's no Floetrol in this, so it's doing its own thing. So I'll just move in a little bit again, for those of you who may be joining. What I mentioned earlier, these cells are really small because my paints were thicker. Thankfully, they were all the same consistency, so I did get some cells, which you'll see in the video that'll be out at 1 p.m. The only thing I didn't do in the video was I didn't show you how thick my paints were, so I apologize for that. But the next one, what I'll do is I'll bring a close-up of my paints so that you can see that. No, Patricia, I don't know where to get Aussie Floetrol. Do you just have to buy it from overseas and have it shipped? I hear that's pretty reactive as well. Thanks, Anne. Yeah, you have to play with it. I took extensive notes when I started doing this, especially from watching Melly D's paintings. I would literally slow them down, see how thick they were coming off the canvas the best I could. Hi, Fiona. Does the thicker paints always sink? I think so. I think the acrylic flow black, I think, is denser. Is that more clear, Anne? So I think black tends to sink anyway. But remember, you're pouring a puddle and the black goes on top and then you're moving it. And so as it disperses, these cells come up from there. So if you're just watching, these are the paint colors I used again. DecoArt Americana, Bahama Blue, same brand, Turquoise Blue, and then True Blue. So what I do with these bottles, I dump them in a cup, add a little bit of water to the bottle, shake it up, and turn it upside down so I can get all the paint out of it. And then I do a little bit of Liquitex pouring medium, literally just a drizzle, and then water to get it thin. So I add like a tablespoon or a teaspoon at a time, stir it, and get it thin. So, any other questions?
Can you do an ocean pour for us?
An ocean pour. I'm not quite, do you mean like a wave pour? I'm not quite sure what an ocean pour is. I've never done the wave thing. I don't use a blow dryer. That intimidates me, and I did it once and I sprayed paint all over my wall. No, these paints are not metallics. They're just the DecoArt paints. Just acrylic paint. Are these the colors of an ocean pour? Looks kind of oceany. Oh, okay. Oh, you do it on Clearwater Beach, Ann? Well, maybe invite me down and I'll do one down there for you.
Did you say you only use paint and water for this technique, or is there Floetrol in there too?
For this one, there's just paint and water. I have used Floetrol in some of my older ones I was showing before we walked into my studio space.
Do you ever think of doing a swipe pour?
You know, about the swipe pour, what was really funny, I did one yesterday and I had to scrape it before I did this one. And there was still some paint on the canvas, so I used my, I don't know, like my spatula thing that I used to scrape with, and I just did it over and it really selled up. So it made me think about that. So maybe one day I'll do a swipe pour. If you want, I can show you some of my paintings in my studio, my gallery space that I did Dump and Swirls a year or so ago. In those pours, I did use Floetrol, and I was using primarily metallics. Okay, yeah, Antoinette, I'm planning next weekend to do a larger pour, and I'm probably going to stick with the blues. Probably not this color. It looks more green against some of these blues. But yeah, stay tuned. And I'm going to try to do that live if my partner can tolerate sitting here and watching me paint and ask questions. So maybe we'll make it time limited. Okay, I'm going to get up off the floor. Let me just show you one more. Now this is my studio. I know it's on top of carpet. There's my partner's feet. This is a big old drop cloth. But okay, I'll walk out there and show you the pours in a minute. So and I sit right over here. There's my workstation, my paint, and then my lights. Okay, I'm gonna walk back out. I call this my gallery space. This is my place to hang. So I did this one last week. I think you guys saw. This was just Floetrol, I'm sorry, Liquitex and water. This is an older one, some light coming in. It has Floetrol on it. All of these over here all have Floetrol, Liquitex pouring medium, and water added. Same with these. I did this one last week, and this was the monochromatic one. And this one, and I showed the one I called Quest, if you didn't see this earlier. It's all dry. I just have it on the floor for now. I got the fractals going. I think it'll look great once it's varnished. There's a little bit of metallic in there, so the metallic will shine. So yeah, these are my older ones. They're about a year and a half old. Been doing the Dump and Swirl for a while. And then I did these large ones. That's a 36 by 36. I can still get off the floor, Patricia. I've been working out. And these are some of my monochromatics. And then here's just some leftover pieces, and there's one of my other favorite ones. Okay, a couple more minutes here. I'll show you some more down my hallway. It's very narrow. Craig, yes, they're all for sale. This is one of my favorite. I used champagne and silver and white. And this is just another monochromatic. Sorry, I can't give you a full view because the hallway's narrow. The varnish I use is just, I think it's Grumbacher. There's one there's a glare on it. Grumbacher paint varnish for acrylic and oil. I use 1 coat of gloss. Now this is quite glossy, as you can see. I did several coats. I'm gonna show you up close. And then last but not least, one here in the corner. So, okay, you're probably gonna get a glimpse of my partner here in a second. Okay, guys, so any more questions before we wrap up? Actually, this painting's going to Canada whenever we can cross the border. I've never resined a piece before. That intimidates me. Okay, you know, if you want to see some of the detail. Yes, Grumbacher spray varnish. So I got a glare. This is one of my favorite ones. Thank you, Fiona. This is monochromatic, but the light makes it look. Well, Deanna, maybe one of these days I will do a painting and resin it, because I'll probably get addicted to it, I'm pretty sure. Regarding resining over spray varnish, I don't have an answer to that question. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna wrap up. I'll make an announcement for next week where I will actually do a painting, and you guys can watch along with me and ask questions, and my partner Craig will be here to read them off for me, because I will have my camera set up so I can obviously do my paintings. I'm not sure when yet, but it'll be next weekend. I work during the week, so it might be Friday or Saturday, but I'll put an announcement out. But if you stay tuned at 1 o'clock, you'll see the creation video of this, and I hope you like it. And guys, thanks so much for being here. This was kind of fun. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to turn this off and say goodbye for now. I'll be on live as well with my premiere coming up. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.